Hey everyone, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Oral Reports. And again, I'm not in a happy mood today, for two reasons. Firstly, I'm worried for YouTube's future. You see, ever since I was notified about the terms of services changing next month, I've been feeling kind of scared of getting terminated. While I don't make any money from any of my videos, and I never include ads on them, at least I'm glad that my videos have been entertaining folks and making them happy. And so far, I've gotten over 23,700 subscribers. Secondly, a few days ago, I've been notified by YouTube that I need to go through every single one of my videos and decide whether each one is for kids and which ones aren't. If only there was an option to make them aimed for families, since my channel is intended to be family friendly, even if I do sometimes blog R-rated movies. Also, again, just to remind you viewers, I never include sexual innuendo, copyrighted video footage, or anything inappropriate or raunchy in any of my videos. This stress that YouTube is putting me through is killing me. Hence why I've been having terrible migraines during the past few days. Another thing that's upsetting to me recently was the ending of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. While I didn't get into that series until after watching the 2017 theatrical movie, the main reason why I watched it is because, well, my love for horses, hence why I'm called the Mustang Prince. Plus, the show had a lot of good lessons to learn from. It had wonderful songs, great voice acting, and tons of cute, fun, and memorable characters. Plus, I'm happy that my #1 cartoon crush, Princess Twilight Sparkle, is the Queen of Equestria, with Spike as her advisor. However, just recently, I saw a promo on Facebook advertising the Gen 5 toy line and upcoming series. And while I am glad that the original characters and voice cast are returning, judging by the design, it looks like the same level as Teen Titans Go and the 2016 Powerpuff Girls reboot. Anyway, for today's pony blog, I'm going to take you guys back to the 80s, where the My Little Ponies had a movie during their birth generation. So, let's see if this movie is as good as Generation 4. Released on June 20th, 1986, the movie is, well, My Little Pony the Movie, 1986. So, let's get started. At Dream Castle in Ponyland, the little ponies are preparing a festival to celebrate the first day of spring. During the festival, up in the gloomy volcano of doom, the evil witch Hydia is plotting to turn Ponyland into a wasteland. When her first attempt fails due to her bratty daughters, she decides to cover Ponyland with purple ooze called the Smooze. It looks like the end of Ponyland unless all the magical creatures of Dream Valley answer the ponies' call for help. So, what are my thoughts on this movie? Well, while it can be a tad cheesy and weird at times, it is a good movie, but just not Generation 4 good. But let's move on to Mustang notes. The movie was produced by Sunbelt Productions and Marvel Productions. And yes, this Marvel. With animation production by Toei Animation in Japan and Nelson Shin's Akon Studio in South Korea, making this movie one of their first projects. Amid an emergency rush, Shin and his crew spent 10 weeks on the film's 300,000 cells. The film was succeeded by a television series anthology which ran in the late 1986. The 10-part episode of that series, The End of Flutter Valley, served as a sequel to the movie. As for the animation, well, in my opinion, the animation does look a tad cheesy to today's standards, but I do like how the environment of Ponyland looks. All green, beautiful, and peaceful. While the Volcano of Doom, where Hideo lives, is a miserable looking place. Also, I think Flutter Valley, where the Flutter Ponies live, is equally as beautiful as the place where the ponies live, whether being Dream Castle or Paradise Estate. Also, that one scene with a bunch of creepy looking trees makes me think of a scene from the first episode of Friendship is Magic. What's more, I like that this movie features other creatures that would also be seen in the TV series, like all sorts of woodland creatures, bush woolies, and sea ponies. Now let's talk about the main conflict for the movie, the Smooze. This thing is a purple slime monster that has the ability to grow to a gargantuan size, as well as spreading across all of Ponyland and burying anything in its path, turning it into a barren wasteland. Also, whenever it touches someone, it turns them mean and grumpy, and so far, the Smooze managed to touch 2 ponies, 2 bush woolies, and Spike's tail. Ooh, I'd hate to get any Smooze on me. You know, come to think of it, I think the Smooze is equally as bad as Oobleck. Fun fact, the Smooze in the movie influenced an episode from Friendship is Magic called Make New Friends, but Keep Discord, where the mischievous Discord brings the Smooze into the Grand Galloping Gala in order to separate Fluttershy from her new friend Tree Hugger. Now, since this is a My Little Pony movie, it also means it's a musical, and to be honest guys, the songs are sort of a mixed bag for me, but I'd like to talk about a few of them though. Aside from the classical My Little Pony opening chorus song, we have Hidea's villain song, Evil Witch Like Me, where she scolds her daughters for not being as evil as her. Then we have I'll Go It Alone, sung by Baby Lickety Split, as she prepares to run away from Ponyland. And in my opinion, this song is just okay, but a little off-key at times. Then there's also I'll Do the Dirty Work, sung by Draggle and Rika. And in my eyes, this song is basically an argument between the two sisters who try to convince the other to collect a dangerous ingredient for Hidea's spell, but neither of them are clever enough to do so, resulting in this musical tug of war. Next is Nothing Can Stop the Smooze, which is sung while Draggle and Rika gloat over the destruction of Ponyland as they ride the Smooze, destroying everything in their path. The last song that I want to talk about is There's Always Another Rainbow, sung by Megan. This is my favorite song in the movie, since this is basically Megan's way of saying that there will always be hope. And I think Megan's singing really does warm my heart. Anyway, now that we're done with Mustang notes, animation, and songs, let's move on to the characters and the voice actors who brought him to life. Let's begin with Baby Lickety Split, voiced by Alice Playton, whom I remember as Pearl and Poindexter from Felix the Cat the Movie. In this film, Lickety Split is shown to be a very stubborn, headstrong pony who is determined to do everything her own way. Feeling as if she was unappreciated, Lickety Split runs away with Spike. In my opinion, while Lickety Split is a tad overconfident, I do like that she makes friends with the Grundles, more on them later, and when she rescued Morning Glory from a well, and when she convinced Queen Rosedust to help them stop the Smooths. Next up is Spike the Dragon, voiced by Charlie Adler. Best known as Buster Bunny from Tiny Toon Adventures, and he got to voice in Timeless Tales the Ugly Duckling. Now this version of Spike is very different compared to Princess Twilight's assistant, advisor, and son. Yes, he's a baby dragon, but in this series, he was adopted by Megan and the ponies after they defeated T-Rex. In my opinion, Spike has a very sarcastic streak, but he is very supportive to the ponies and the three children. Throughout this movie, Spike accompanies Baby Lickety Split while she runs away from Ponyland. The other ponies in the movie are voiced by Kathy Cavadini, Susan Blue, Sarah Partridge, Cheryl Bernstein, Ellen Gerstow, Nancy Cartwright, and Laura Dean. Moving on, we also have Moochick, voiced by the late Tony Randall, whom I remember as Mr. Grimm from How the Toys Saved Christmas. This character is a wise but eccentric gnome who lives in a secluded place in Dream Valley with his assistant Happet the Rabbit, and he's shown to have temporal amnesia. But despite that, Moochick is very knowledgeable, and he provides answers to more unusual problems. In this movie, Moochick does give the ponies a new home in the form of Paradise Estate, and he does advise them to seek help from the Flutter ponies in order to stop the Smooths. Next we come to Megan, voiced by Tammy Emerson, who, after this series, narrated Jem's show. Megan is a 13-year-old American girl who lives on a ranch. What I like about Megan, aside from her cameo in Roller Coaster of Friendship, is that Megan's gentle and motherly, but also mature and resourceful. Plus, Megan acts as a little pony's leader, and in times of crisis, they often fly across the rainbow to find her. Megan keeps the Rainbow of Light, which is a special locket that contains a powerful rainbow to defeat anything that is evil and threatening. These are Megan's siblings, Molly and Danny, voiced by Carrie Holohan and Scott Menville. To me, these two children are decent supporting characters. However, Molly can be often scared around monsters and ghosts, but never too scared to fight with Danny. And speaking of Danny, He can be really rambunctious, and he's sometimes fond of jokes, although he doesn't usually do them to hurt someone's feelings. Next we have the Grundle King, King Hugo, voiced by Danny DeVito. Best known from Roald Dahl's Matilda, Disney's Hercules, Illumination's The Lorax, and Tim Burton's Dumbo. In my eyes, Hugo seems to be rather ugly, but sweet. He sometimes speaks in rhymes, and he's not very smart, but he has a kind heart. He and the rest of the Grundles used to live in Grundleland before Hydia smoothed it, and now they reside in the remains of Dream Castle. In my opinion, I think the Grundles make great supporting characters, and I do like that they help Baby Lickety-Split and Spike find the Flutter Ponies. Next we have Morning Glory and Queen Rosedust, voiced by the late Rusty Taylor. To me, Morning Glory is a sweet and naive Flutter Pony, and Rosedust is very protective of her clan. Plus, I do like her British accent. Also, in my opinion, I think the scene where the Flutter Ponies blow away the Smooths back to the volcano was true Mustang power. The main villain for the movie, Hydia, is voiced by Cloris Leachman, who has been in Don Bluth's A Troll in Central Park, Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein, Annabelle's Wish, as well as Hayao Miyazaki's Ponyo and Castle in the Sky. Hydia is a powerful witch who despises anything that is nice, pretty, and beautiful, and instead wants to make everything gloomy and dreary to suit her taste on living. In the film, she plans to unleash the Smooths to destroy Ponyland. Hydia's daughters, Rika and Draggle, are voiced by Rhea Perlman and Madeline Kahn. To me, these two are not truly malevolent villains, and more like incompetent brats. Their main goal is to try to impress their mother and show how evil they can be. Finally, we have Hydia's pet Og, vocalized by Optimus Prime himself, Peter Cullen. This creature is a giant cyclops spider who was sent by the witches to stop Megan and the ponies from reaching Flutter Valley to acquire the help they needed to rid the land of the Smooths. While Og did manage to trap the gang behind a rock, Molly managed to defeat him by tickling his legs with weeds. And now let's move on to my final words. Overall, My Little Pony the movie was an okay film, but it doesn't hold a candle to Friendship is Magic. The animation is good for an 80s film, but still a tad dated to today's standards. While most of the ponies were a tad forgettable, several other characters like Lickety-Split and Spike were okay main characters. Megan was a great leader character, and the witches as villains do have potential. Also, some of the songs were okay, but some parts of the story could have either been written better or at least pick up its pace a bit. But, on the other hand, I think several other specials from Generation 1 do a lot better. Also, if you folks are My Little Pony fans, then I guess this is a movie you should see at least once. As for my rating, I'll give it a 60% out of 100. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me again next time, where I take you guys to the very first Japanese animated movie that I ever watched when I was little. Mustang Power.